Hi there, everyone. My name is Christian Eschbach, and welcome to another one of my album reviews. And we are going to do a double shot of Bowie. Today's review is going to be the Let's Dance album. First off, let's start with I absolutely love the idea of David Bowie done up as a boxer on this, as if Bowie's gonna dance with someone. And the only reason I find it humorous is the story of how David Bowie has the two different eyes, and it's not actually two different eye colors. It's supposed to be just the pupil is bigger, which makes it look like it's two different eye colors just because of the way it's. But it's all caused from an accident where there was a fist fight. Let's Dance 1983 released. This version that I'm holding is the 1999 remaster. I'm just gonna get into this. So 80s Bowie was very kind of poppy, a little more dancey. Not bad. Not in a bad way. It was definitely Bowie. The one thing that was nice about Bowie is Bowie was able to move on and transition through, people say through different characters. You know, he had his Aladdin Sane era, which would have been just before this. Ziggy Stardust era before that. You know, one could argue Ziggy Stardust was basically the 70s era of Bowie. That's neither here nor there. It's the musical changes. You know, like when you go from the 70s, uh, usually most Bowie fans cut out around 76 ish, 78 ish at the latest. Kind of in that time period, you know, what you would consider the old classic rock greatest hits kind of period of Bowie. When you start getting into the 80s stuff, people started going, whoa, because Bowie just kind of did this major transition. I personally, for me, Bowie is, you know, like, to me, I spent as much time listening to the Ziggy Stardust album as I spent watching the Labyrinth movie. I've listened to Ziggy Stardust a lot more since then than I've watched the Labyrinth movie, but, you know, so for me, that was very much all together for me. You know, like, I think of Bowie obviously as a musician first, but I do even think of Bowie as an actor, and not just because of Labyrinth. You know, he had multiple other roles that many people don't realize or think about or know about. Um, but let's focus on the music here, okay? So 83. This would have been after his time living, working with, and collaborating with Iggy Pop. I believe they refer to it as the Berlin series. And this album contains not one, but two tracks that are co-written with Pop. I believe it's two. Give me a second. Maybe it is only the one. Oh, okay. This one only has one that's on there. Okay. I thought, okay. So let's get into this then. Okay. First song on the album is Modern Love, which was one of the songs I thought was co-written with Pop, and I was wrong. Sorry. Modern Love kicks off this album. It's a good way to kind of kick off this album. It's cool. It's got a vibe to it. I enjoy it. One thing I got to say about Bowie that's really cool is when he writes a longer song, you don't always realize it. Now, for me, Modern Love, it's nothing spectacular. I know some people would say it's a good song. It would be like a best of or a greatest hits. For me, not so much. But it does the job right on this album. No complaints there. Then we get into China Girl, which was written with Iggy Pop. And I've got the Iggy Pop version as well. The Bowie version is always more clean, produced. If you listen to the Bowie version on this album and you listen to the Iggy Pop version off the album that it respectively comes off of, which I can't remember off the top of my head right now, respectively, Bowie's sounds like the full produced version and Pop's sounds like the demo version. China Girl's got this great vibe to it, great kind of flow. I like the Asian motifs throughout there, and I'm going to use the term Asian motifs. I don't. Chinese motifs, I guess, would be the better term. You know, there's little Chinese motifs through there in the music that are really nice, really kind of add to it. I know this is also a song that has ended up on some best of packages or some greatest hits packages, especially ones that tend to focus on the 80s or whatnot. And I don't mind it as a song, it's enjoyable, but for me, this album really honestly does not kick in and does not really start moving until we actually hit the title track of the album, which is the third song on this album, Let's Dance. Now, here's something I really want to point out, and I've never even noticed this before. Let's Dance is 7 minutes and 37 seconds long, according to the back of this. Never would have guessed that song was that long because it is just such a good song. When you got to go now, lately when I've been listening to this album, it's mainly when I've been going back and forth to work while I'm riding on my scooter. We're in that time of year again, so you know it's scoot time. It's either riding my bike or riding the scooter. When I'm riding my bike, I like a little more energy to get my blood flowing. When I'm riding the scooter, I like something more chill and relaxed and fun and playful. So, you know, this is great for riding, you know, and listening there. But the other thing with Let's Dance is I got a real special warm spot in my heart. Um, I've got a daughter. I've mentioned this before. And as I had a daughter that was, you know, a kid in the days of Dance Dance Revolution being a huge thing, we had Dance Dance Revolution for the PlayStation. And I would get up and do Dance Dance Revolution, but the only song I would do it for was David Bowie's Let's Dance. So, you know, I got the warm, fuzzy memory of that. And I don't know if the version that's on there is the full 7 minutes and 37 seconds, but that could explain why I was always tuckered out by the end of that song, man. You know, I was a lazy ass dad, you know, DDR this stuff, man. All right, but I love Let's Dance. I really, truly do. Even without that whole thing, the song does this great job of really just getting you up and wanting to move. There's just this beautiful flow to the song that, you know, I think even without Bowie saying "Let's dance," you know, Bowie could be sitting there saying "Let's stroll, let's stroll down the sidewalks, the streets to the park, and just stroll." And you're still gonna want to move, man. You're gonna get that groove going because that music, man. You're just gonna boogie and let's stroll down to the drugstore to pick up Viagra to get on with my old woman. You know, like you still just got that vibe, man. You know, it's a great tune. So, yeah. Uh, after that, we get into Without You. And it's really funny because Without You cuts down to 3 minutes and 8 seconds, okay? So, less than half of the time that Let's Dance is. And yet, somehow, when you're listening to them and you're going along and whatnot, they feel like they're the same length. I swear they do. You just that's how it is. When you get into a good song like Let's Dance, a really good song like Let's Dance, you just really get into it. You're totally gonna lose track of time. This is why I've always loved longer songs. A good longer song, man. I mean, at 7 minutes and 37 seconds, that you're arguing technically, bordering towards the epic length almost. All right. Without You, though, I have nothing else to say outside of that, really. It's not a bad tune. I don't mind it. But it's like, Without You is kind of on par for me with Modern Love. China Girl's a little cool because of the musical variations and stuff like that. Modern Love and Without You, they kind of have that same thing where, they're good songs on the album. You definitely enjoy them while you're listening to the album, but you're not songs that I really care about, not songs I'm going to put on a mix anywhere, not songs I'm going to really go out of my way to listen to. After that, we get to Ricochet. Ricochet is musically very interesting. This is definitely a Bowie music art piece. And Bowie art pieces can either hit perfectly and be beautiful and awesome, or they can fall flat. Ricochet does a great job of hitting beautifully. Like, this is a real proggy kind of, especially in 83, okay? You gotta figure, if I remember what I read correctly, it was recorded in December of 92. The whole album was recorded in December of 92. It was written throughout, I want to say 81, 82-ish. It's been a while since I saw the documentary where it talked about Bowie in Iggy's time together when they were collaborating or stuff like that. And Ricochet, not that it has anything to do with Iggy, but Ricochet just has this great prog mentality to it, which on an album that was very pop-ish, it really stands out and it's really, really cool. It's just really groovy tune. And I like the stops in it. I like the breaks in it. Really, I recommend give it a try. It's not going to be for everybody. Let me be very clear. If you're just like into Bowie's pop stuff, like if Let's Dance is your favorite Bowie song, I don't know if Ricochet is necessarily going to work for you. But, if you're into some of the older Bowie, it might work for you. And the drumming on it's really cool too, man. Really interesting. After that, we get to Criminal World, which I am going to be completely honest with you, is kind of a forgettable song for me. Not that it's a bad song. I don't mind it. And when it's playing, I even have a tendency to sing along with it. But it's a forgettable song, I find. After that, we hit Cat People. I like Cat People. Now, for some reason, they didn't print the alternate name for Cat People on here, and I don't think it's in here. Oh, yeah, Putting Out Fire. And I really love Cat People. I really love the vibe and energy with it, and I really liked the part where Bowie gets to where he starts singing out, Putting Out Fire with Gasoline. And it just got this great kind of heavy for Bowie heavy kind of thing going on. And at the same time, just the whole way around, the song's got some really good energy to it. Just find it a very enjoyable song. And one of those songs that I really do think probably has been overlooked over the years. I really think that it should get some major radio play, honestly. That's what I would be doing. If I were a DJ at a station, I would definitely be getting Cat People into circulation as a deep cut, bring it out into like a modern, make it into a modern classic, because it's really a good tune. And then the album finishes with Shake It. And I'll be honest, I kind of wish they had switched Cat People and Shake It. I think Cat People would have been a much stronger ending to this album. And Shake It, it's okay. The whole way around with this album is, I kind of want to say it's okay, but it's a little better than okay, I kind of downplay the album a lot, saying that, there's not a lot of great tunes on here. China Girl is without a doubt, honestly. I mean, I underplay China Girl, but I know a lot of people that really like it, and it is a really good song, and the music in it is really, really good as well. Let's Dance. Okay, I mean, Let's Dance is just fantastic. I would put Let's Dance on many mixes. Ricochet, I don't know if I'd put Ricochet on mixes, but it is a song worth noting and checking out. And then Cat People. I totally dig Cat People. I think it's a great song. But the whole album is great to play from beginning to end. I really enjoy the playthrough on this album. And it is one of those albums where I've actually had this one for a while, and it comes in and out, of the CD player. It all just depends on the mood I'm in. But the whole way around, check it out. If you can find it, I believe I bought this new, and I probably paid like $13.99 for it or something like that, or I probably got a good deal on it, 2 for something. I think I paid 2 for $15 or something like that for it. And do I think it's worth it? Absolutely. I think it was worth what I paid for it. Would I go out and spend $45 on a new pressed vinyl of it? No. Would I pick it up used? Absolutely. Would I, like I said, I bought it, even if I had to pay $15.99, I think brand new. $15.99 would be my max out on this, and I would still think I got my value out of it, even though I downplay this album more than I do. The problem is this album is from a time period that the music styling is something that I'm not overly huge on. Like 80s pop is not a huge thing for me. I do enjoy some of it, but I definitely would be more of a classic rock Bowie fan. And even some modern stuff, depending on where we go with it. So for me, I downplay this because it's a downplayed kind of album for me. I hate to say it. That's just kind of where I feel on that one. That's my thoughts. Those are my views. Those are my opinions. Let me know what you think. That is what the comment section is for. I'd love to hear what your comments are on this one. There's a like button, a subscribe button, and there's that little bell for notifications. If you can click any of those, all of those, that'd be great. Thanks. Otherwise, before I forget, Patreon link. Peace, love, take care.